Joseph Borg is executive director of the Alabama Securities Commission.
Anytime you have money, you're going to have thieves trying to get it.
In the past 26 years, he's encountered many white-collar criminals.
The currency of all scams is trust.
And people trusted Frederick Mitchell McNabb.
You had an individual who had a bar license, a CPA degree, and a history with a family history in the area.
McNabb didn't have a license to sell securities, but that didn't stop him.
It's heartbreaking.
He scammed victim after victim.
What he did to us did not hurt me. It disappointed me, and it hurt financially a little bit. But some of the other folks that were stolen from, it hurt quite worse.
None worse than Charles Fralish.
Moral deficiency in Mr. McNabb, that he could take money from folks like a paraplegic.
Fralish's late mother left Charles about $200,000, money that would have paid for his basic necessities. Mitch McNabb stole every penny.
He took us for over $300,000.
Then there's Vesta Bryan.
We had Graceful Oil Company.
She and her husband worked all their lives to save that money.
Some that lost well over $1 million.
That would be the Huckabees.
It didn't settle well.
Small store owners who built a nice nest egg. State Representative Paul Lee is their longtime friend.
And then to find out that you've worked for 45, 50 years and all of a sudden it's gone because of someone's greed and just being a thief of your money.
And she's our sweet little old lady. She loves to be held.
Dr. Melanie Donofrio also trusted Mitch McNabb.
I don't know if
that turned out to be a bad mistake.
Dog is gone. I wondered why, once my parents' house sold, why we couldn't just go ahead and disperse the funds. He said, no, it needs to be tied up in I don't know. He made all these excuses that I didn't understand.
It went to the business trust account, as I'm told. And as that happened, he had total and complete control over it rather than having strings attached to our family.
And when you questioned him about this, he said,
I can't pay it back.
16 victims reported they had been scammed by McNabb.
All the money that he stole that was part of our investigation totaled over $10 million.
Dothan attorney Mitch McNabb stole over $10 million, taking that money from those who trusted him, leaving some of them broke while he lived the good life.
Airplanes, Maseratis, fancy boats, beach condos, lake houses.
And a hairdresser he'd fly to his daughter.
To get her hair done for certain beauty pageants. We were not able to verify that in the bank records specifically, but yes, we heard many stories.
In 2013, after 10 years of stealing, the dominoes fell. Police charged Mitch McNabb with 55 crimes. He pleaded guilty.
He stood with his back to us, never turned around, and then he sat at the table.
McNabb refused to look his victims in the eye. Victims who wanted stiff punishment. Dr. Melanie Donofrio among those who testified at McNabb's sentencing hearing.
He took an oath as an attorney, and how he could turn around and do that to people, I don't even remember everything I said. I just basically blasted him.
We were appalled at the sentence.
5 years in prison.
It was really hard to come up with the right words to say to these individuals, and in trying to explain and justify what happened, other than just, I'm sorry, we did what we could, and ultimately it wasn't our decision for him to have received what he got.
And I think that's just the wrong message we're sending from the judicial system.
8 days after McNabb went to prison, something bizarre happened. He walked out, taken to a North Alabama jail, where he would presumably receive preferential treatment.
I made a few phone calls.
Furious, State Representative Paul Lee called the governor's office
and explained that I expected differently.
Within 24 hours, McNabb was returned to prison. Until last week, that's when his 5-year sentence ended.
If you think about it, for 5 years and over $10 million, there might be a lot of crooks out there who'll take 5 years in jail to steal $10 million.
McNabb's victims fear he'll steal again.
I don't think that he's that remorseful.
He's like a child molester. He can never be trusted. He is not going to change. Anybody that's that undermining, he's not going to change. And I would watch my back if I was around him.
Well, I feel sorry if he tries to stick it to anybody else. They better be very wary of him.
Frederick Mitchell McNabb, the $10 million con man.
I think there's a special place in hell for folks like that.
16 victims pressed charges against McNabb. Others chose not to. Here's some good advice. If you're considering doing business with securities agents, check them out. The Alabama Securities Commission can provide vital information. If you have a story that needs to be shared with our viewers, let me know about it. Email me. It's Ken, that's Ken, at WTVY.com.